Hi, my name is Adam Cohen, and this is the first video in my Algebra 1 tutorial series. Today we're going to be talking about variables, specifically what is a variable and what are its uses. So, a variable, simply put, is a number that we do not know, or a number that we might plug in multiple numbers for. A variable can be represented by multiple things. For example, a letter. It could be A, B, C, all the way through X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z are going to be the most commonly used variables you'll see. But other letters pop up. You might even get Greek letters such as sigma, but in Algebra 1 those really won't pop up. You might see variables represented by a box, a line, a dot, really whatever the problem creator can think of. The key to knowing when something is a variable is when it's taking the place of a number, or at least where there should be a number, but it's not, basically. So if I gave you 2x, right? We're in math class, we're not reading this as 2x, we're reading this as 2 times variable x, right? So we don't know what x is. So right now, all I can tell you is this expression is 2 times the variable x. However, if I were to come up here and tell you that x is equal to 5, now we can plug in this 5 for x, right? That's called substitution, which is when you're taking a variable's value and substituting it in for that variable. So in this case, we could now plug this in as 2 times 5 instead of x, because we know that x is equal to 5. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So now we know that 2x is equal to 10. Now, variables have a lot of applications. For example, say you have a swimming pool, and you want to know how much water can fit in that swimming pool. So, there are many different formulas that can tell you this sort of thing. So in this case, we're going to take the volume, right? That's how much water your swimming pool can hold, is equal to the length of your swimming pool times the width times the depth. All right? So here we have 4 variables, and I haven't given you a value. So with what I've given you, you don't know what the volume of your swimming pool is. You just know that if you want to find the volume, you need to multiply length, width, and depth. So let's plug some values in. If I tell you that length is equal to 10, width is equal to 5, and depth is equal to 6, here's what we're going to do. We're going to plug this 10 in for L, this 5 in for W, and the 6 in for D. So here we can say that volume is equal to 10 times 5 times 6. Let's multiply that. So 10 times 5 is 50. 50 times 6 is 300. So V, we now know, is equal to 300. And this illustrates an important concept. You can find out the value of a variable without being given it. So if you're given other values in an expression, right, an equation that tells you what that variable is, you now know what the value of V is. You can take this value of V and use it in later parts of the same problem. But the important thing is that you know, if you're on question 1 of your test and you find out that V is equal to 300, and on question 20 later on, where you're talking about a different swimming pool, right? That V that you got earlier is no longer V. It's important to know that this is V in the context of question 1. But V in question 20 is a new V. So unless a question specifically tells you to remember the values of the last question, assume that everything is fresh. I hope after watching this video, you have gained a greater knowledge of what a variable is, how to use them, and when you can apply them.